Hello, BookTube, and welcome to Poetry Thursday. I honestly thought I was going to miss Poetry Thursday this week. Some booktubers take Thursday as an occasion to remember that poetry is a very old genre of literature, worth more attention than it gets on BookTube, and to read you a poem. Come up with some idea or some reason for that, what they've picked that day. My reason is overarching. I have made a narrative out of one book, one anthology, this thing. 20th century American poetry. We are working our way towards the apocalypse, but we aren't quite there yet. Instead, today's poet is known not for his poetry, but for his translation of somebody else's poetry. We are dealing with John Ciardi today, who was once upon a time famous for a translation of Dante, of the Divine Comedy. For a long time, that translation ruled the roost, and I had no idea what to say to people. I would just tell them, there aren't many viable alternatives here that aren't 100 years old, so go for it. Go for it. You're going to need more than one go at Dante anyway. You're going to need to pay attention to the notes anyway, so go for it. But in my heart of hearts, I didn't like it. And I don't know if that's exclusively down to the translation or if part of that is the fact that John Ciardi was a raging a-hole. I don't really know. Maybe I'll never know. But this anthology includes a couple of his poems. I'm going to read you the shorter of them. It was written in 1958, and 1958 wasn't the peak of John Ciardi's insufferability, but it wasn't. He didn't have normal person's insufferability even then. And yet, having prefaced it that way, I bet you're still going to like the poem. I bet you're really going to like it. So I'm not the police of that, and I kind of like it myself. So this is called Most Like an Arch This Marriage. Just that. Just those letters. No punctuation. It's wrong without punctuation, but that it doesn't have any punctuation. Most like an arch, an entrance which upholds and shores the stone crush up the air like lace. Mass made idea, an idea held in place. A lock in time. Inside half heaven unfolds. Most like an arch, two weaknesses that lean into a strength. Two failings become firm. Two joined abeyances become a term naming the fact that reaches fact to mean. Not quite that? Not much less. World as it is, what's strong and separate falters. All I do at piling stone on stone apart from you is roofless around nothing. Till we kiss, I am no more than upright and unset. It is by falling in and in we make the all-bearing point, for one another's sake, in faultless failing, raised by our own weight. So, I think you agree, that is lovely. That it isn't punctuated, but it is, isn't punctuated, but it is lovely. That line, two joined abeyances, become a term naming the fact that reaches fact to mean, that's quite good. The conceit of the poem itself is unbelievably woolly. Love is an arch. Love is a doorway. It goes back almost as long as poetry itself. So no marks for originality there, but no marks needed for originality, right? When it comes to poetry, you don't need to be original. You just need to be lovely, or even brutal, or both. And this poem is lovely in, I would say, a fairly toothless way. It's quite nice. I'm promise I'm not trying to be an a-hole here. Of course, reading one of John Ciardi's poems out loud and summarizing it by saying it's quite nice would have infuriated him to a white-knuckled apoplexy. And I'm not choosing that word simply because that's true. I also think it happens to be true about the poem. So he's not in here much. He's just two poems. I don't think he's regarded as a major 20th century poet. Maybe as a major 20th century translator. Certainly his Commedia made bank, as the kids say. So, but there are no translations in here as far as I can see. So we're going to leave it there. That is our Poetry Thursday for today. I didn't want to let the side down, but I'll be back next week. Thank you, BookTube.